Hello everyone. Good afternoon everyone. Yes, we will start in 2 minutes. Okay, meanwhile, if anyone have any query, any questions, so you can write in the chat. Good afternoon everyone. Yes, we will start in 2 minutes. Okay, meanwhile, if anyone have any query, any questions, so you can write in the chat. Good afternoon everyone. Everyone. Yes, we will start in 2 minutes. Okay, meanwhile, if can we see hypothesis today? No, not today. Be better if you can share the audio channel to ask the question as it be better if you can share audio channel to ask the questions. Okay, no issue. Nishant will share our Telegram link. Okay, so whatever the question that you will get, so you can put it down in the Telegram group. So let me share the Telegram link as well with you all so that you all can join. Yes, some of you have completed your assignments. Okay. So we'll show you the assignments as well. Okay, so let me share this link to you all guys. Yes, everyone. So I shared the Telegram link. So try to join everyone here so that we can discuss. Make data analyst project using Tableau. Yes, I'm planning to record a video and then I will upload on this channel. Power BI as well as Tableau. In the last session, we are merging the data and common parameters. After merging all the data, we should be doing EDA. So yeah, in the today class, mainly we will focus on the functions. We can dump a data in one single file because in our previous session, we have seen we have a different files. We have a different data set in a CSV file. Okay, like 7 to 8 data set that we have. So in this class, first we can focus on those part, how we can merge those data. After that, which data is important for our model building so that we can achieve our goals, whatever the goals that we have. So how we can achieve it, we can finalize our data and then we can, based on those data, then we can start working on the projects. Because yeah, definitely in a like whenever we are started the project, first of all, we can understand the data set. Based on the understanding, whatever the data that we have, then we are working on the projects. Okay, so same thing. First, we can dump our data in a single file, in a single CSV after merging and doing a different analysis and functions. And then we can start working in the analysis part, feature engineering part, data pre-processing part, and whatever the other analysis that we have. Okay, so now let's start the session. Before this, let me share with you the assignments. One of our member have shared this assignment. So Let me share my screen so that we can discuss. I have missed the previous session. Can I listen the session or should I have complete the previous one? Yeah, no issue, Ganesh. You can focus on the today session. It took much time for merging all the files, geolocation and product category transaction. I don't know how to merge. Okay, no issue. We'll discuss in today class, Harish. Whatever you are facing the issue, we'll show in the today class. Okay. So now let's focus on here, guys. So here I got a response, 3 to 4 response I got, but I like this notebook. That's why I shown you here. So this is a Harish notebook. Okay. So Harish have built some of the like basic functions, merging and whatever the assignments that I give in the previous session, in our study session. So Harish is completed. 3 to 4 members more have completed. So, but I like this one. So that's why I shown you this one. So as you can see here, you have implemented first read the data set. This one review order review data set. Okay. And after that, here working on the payment data set, find the unique ID, whatever the unique ID that we have in our payment data. After that, item order, reading the item order data set. So whenever you are doing the project, make sure you can write the comment so that whenever the new person check your notebook, they understand each and everything easily. Okay. After that, reading the customer data, merging the review file. See guys, main project, as this is the basic concept and this is the important thing that we have to understand before working on the project, understanding about the data. Because whenever we are clear about it, our data, we are clear about our goals, whatever the goals we want to achieve using this data, then we can go fast. Okay. So again, in today class, we'll discuss the few topics, but from the next class, mainly we'll focus on the feature engineering part, exploratory data analysis part, logging part, debugging part, and database part. Okay. And yeah, from the next class onward, I will take on the alternate days. Like today we have a Tuesday. So the next class that we have a Thursday and then Saturday, alternate days. Okay. So this is the merging review and order data set. We have implemented all the merge operation with the order data and payment data. And basics of operation he have done. Here you can see the some of the comments Harish have written, like both customer G prefix and the review. Payment order customer and the geolocation. In geolocation dataset has the G prefix as the common that can be merged both the dataset. Okay, so here I've written some of the comments as well. Says I like this notebook, like he have mentioned the each and everything in a clean way. Okay, but yeah, there is some mistakes in this file. So I will show you later these things. Okay, so now let's focus on our today agenda, whatever the agenda that we have today. So I have written some of the codes because in our previous session I faced some issue. What issue will tell you? Like writing the first name, because the base, whenever you are writing the code and whenever you have a lots of data, as you can see, we have a lots of data under this file. 7 to 8 file that we have, 7 to 8 Excel file that we have. Okay, so that I have written in a different name. Like as you can see, I have written this. I'm going to read this review data. That's why I have named here review. Okay. Next, again, I'm going to read the payment data, while list order payment data set. So I have written the payment so that whenever the next I proceed going forward, because I have to write a lot of code for these projects, because this is the heavy data set I have taken here. Okay. So we have to write a lot of code in a class function, in a concept. So that's why I have written in a build manner part, so that whenever we can write a code, I can understand, okay, I'm going to define this part, I'm going to define that part. Okay, then order part I have written, I'm going to read this file, order data set and customer data set. So let me run this cell. And first I'm going to read review file. So as you can see, this is the review data set that we have. And under this data set, we have a review ID, order ID, review score, comment title, comment message, review creation date, review answer. But before this one, let me tell you some of the hypothesis questions. as I have mentioned in our previous session, create a sum of the hypothesis question after understanding the data. Okay, so shall I explain now the hypothesis question or later I can explain, guys, after understanding this one? Now tell, it's totally up to you. Based on your recommendation, we'll discuss now or later. Yes, now shall I discuss or later after understanding the data set? Okay, fine. So let's complete the data set part and then I will explain you the hypothesis questions, how you can generate, how you can think hypothesis questions after getting the data set and after understanding the problem statement. Yes, later we can discuss. Fine. So this is the data that we have, the 4 data that I have written here: review, payment, order, and customers. So this is the review file that we have. Okay, this is the review data that we have. Total 7 column that we have under this data set, under this review. Okay, and then 99,224 columns that we have. Total 99,224 columns that we have in this review data set, under the review data set. After that, I'm going to find out the unique, how many unique ID that we have under this order unique columns. Okay, so you can see these are the unique ID that we have. How we are getting the unique ID? Let's try to understand this one. Because let's say I have a like a Flipkart ID with the like email ID and credential that I have. Okay, so every time I'm using a different laptop. Let's say I have a, like right now I have a 3 laptops, guys, not 4, 3 laptops and 1 mobile phone, total 4. Okay, 2 laptops I got from like company, 1 I have a personal, and 1 mobile phone. So whenever I'm going to purchase some of the product from the Flipkart, I'm using a different laptop, I'm using a different mobile phone, but the same credential. Okay, so whenever you are writing a review on some of the website, the unique ID are generated because we are using a different laptop, we are using a different system. So depends on the systems, it's generate a unique ID for the particular person. Okay, now the payment, these are the payment data that we have: payment order ID, payment sequential, payment type, payment installments, and payment value. These are the data that we have. Okay, let's try to check the shape of this data. So I'm going to write payment dot shape, and as you can see, total we have 1,03,886 columns and 5 rows. Okay, now the next header file that we have, order file, and under the order file, total we have 99,441 rows and 8 columns. Now I'm going to read the customer ID, customer unique ID, customer PIN code. Here is written the zip code, customer city, in which city our customers belongs, and customer states. Because based on this customer observation, based on the customer data, we can do the analysis where we are getting the less price and where we are getting the high price. Okay, so now till now we have understand each and everything, and I hope we all know which types of problem statement we are going to cover. It's a classification, regression, or clustering. Tell me, guys, it's a classification problem, regression problem, or clustering problem? Everyone, because as you can see here, we have a customer ID, we have a customer unique ID, customer zip code, customer city, and customer state. At the end, whenever we are doing this project, we have a different data: customer data, order data, payment data, review data, right? And based on this observation, we can do the analysis, and after that we can decide, right? So yes, this is the clustering problem that we have, guys. Okay, we can use a not a clustering, classification. I'm sorry, it's a classification problem. Okay, we can use a different machine learning classification problem algorithm, and then we can go to the final steps. Okay, now I'm going to merge a data set. What is merging? Merging a two data set is the process of bringing the two data sets together into one and aligning the rows from each based on the common attribute. Whatever the common attribute that we have, based on those common attribute, we can merge our data. Okay, so I'm going to merge first our review data with order. That's why I've written here review order, so that whenever in future I can use, and whenever in future I can use this name, I got to know, okay, I have merged review data and order data with unique ID. So I have written here review dot merge function. I'm using orders. I'm going to merge our review data with order data. On which basis? On order basis. Okay, now let me rerun this cell. And after that, let's try to check the shape of our data review order. So now first in order, as you can see here, review we have a 7, and where is the order? Order we have a 8. So total we are getting the 14 columns because we are merging our order data. So 8 plus 7, 15 minus 1, 14. Okay, because one column is a unique column in our both the data. So that's why we are getting the 14 columns. Now the next, let's try to check the payment. So under the payment that we have 1,03,886 rows and 5 columns that we have. Now I'm going to merge our review order data, this data, with payment. So as you can see, I've written review order dot merge. I'm using the merge function here. Payment on which basis? On again order ID basis. So let me rerun this cell. Now 14 and 14 columns that we have here and 5 in a payments. Okay, after merging we are getting 18 columns. Okay, now let's try to read this cell. So as you can see here, review ID that we have, review order, review score, review comment title, review message, review creation date, in which date our customer have written this review, on which time, what the customer ID that we have, how we can got to know, okay, this particular customer have written this review, okay, bad review or positive review or negative review. Okay, customer ID, order status, is this order is delivered on time or not? Order purchase time step, when our customer have purchased, because see, whenever we are purchasing some of the item from the any like website, Flipkart, Myntra, Amazon, sometimes we got delayed 1 or 2 days. Okay, so that's why we have this order. So our client got to know, okay, this order, whenever we will get the review, negative review, so that our customer, our client found out, okay, why we are getting the customer like negative review, and that how we can improve this negative review. Okay, that's why we are getting the purchase item. So let's try to check, is this particular person, is this particular client or this customer, they are getting the like delayed delivery. Okay, then on this basis we can check it out the review. Okay, after that, order approved, on time or not, order delivered customers, order estimated delivery date, payment sequential, payment type, payment installment, and payment value, whatever the value that, whatever the price we have for those particular product. Okay, after that, after understanding this one, let's try to check next one. So now we have merged our review data, order data, and payment data. 3 data we have already merged. Now again, I'm going to merge next data, customer. Okay, on which basis? I'm going to merge our customer data on customer ID basis. So as you can see in our data, customer data, here I have customer ID. So in this basis, on our customer ID basis, I'm going to merge our data here with review order payment data with customer. Okay, after merging this data, let me try to check the shape of this data. So let me copy this one. And now, as you can see, total that we have the 22 columns, and the rows wise 1,03,677 rows that we have. Okay. Now again, as you can see here, we have a lots of data, but right now I have read here only 4 data. Okay, so now let's try to read some other data as well, because whenever we work on the end-to-end project, and whenever we are working on the project, we want all the data, whatever the data we will get from our client, we will get from our customers. Okay, so now let's try to read other data as well. Order data, I'm going to read order item data, product data, seller data, and geolocation data. These are the data set that we have. I'm going to read this data. Okay, fine. Now the next thing I'm going to show you here. Let's try to check the shape of the order item. It's a heavy data, so it will take some time. Now read it. It takes 3 seconds. Okay. Now let's try to check the shape of the order ID. So total data that we have 1,12,650 rows and 7 columns that we have in this particular data. Okay. Now let's try to check the order items, whatever the order items that we have. So under the order items, we have a different columns like order ID, order item ID, product ID, seller ID, shipping ID, price, freight value. So these are the column that we have under the order item. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to merge our order item with our previous data, whatever the data that we have, this one. Okay. So now I'm going to add customer ID first, customer item with, I'm going to create this customer item data. Under this, I'm going to read this data with order items using the order ID columns. Okay, so let me read this say. And now we got 28 columns. Let's try to check the length of this particular ID, product ID. So for this, I'm using the len function. I hope we have all clear len function and all merging function. Okay, so if anyone needs an explanation about it, so you can write it down in the chat. Okay, I will explain you. Okay, so len function, this is the data that we have customer item. Under the customer item, let me create a one cell and let's read this data dot head. I'm going to read the top 5 data. So as you can see, we have a product ID. Let me find out here. So I'm going to check the length of this product ID. How many unique ID that we have? How many unique ID that we have under this product ID? Because sometimes definitely the same person, if the same person, like if the multiple person buying the same product, the ID is definitely the product ID is same. Let's say if I'm going to purchase a apple or shirt, I'm going to purchase a shirt. Okay, name Shivan. If the again the same like some other person, if again some of the other person going to purchase the same product, like same product shirt, and now the name is Harish. Okay, now the name is Harish, but the product, this is the product that we have shirt, we are going to purchase a shirt. So the product ID, this is the product that we have, product shirt. Okay, so the product ID is same, only the member is a different, only the customer is a different, but the product ID is same, right? So sometime the same product purchased by the different customer, right? So definitely we will get the duplicate product ID. Okay, so that's why I'm going to check here the unique ID for this product item. Whatever the product ID that we have, I'm going to check the unique of this ID. Okay, so for this you can use a link function. Now it's clear, that's great. Okay, fine. Now let's move next. So here total that we have 32,789 unique product ID that we have under this column, under this customer ID, customer item, data. Now let's try to check the product shape. So total 32,951 rows that we have and 9 columns. Now I'm going to merge product data with customer items data. So for this, again, I'm going to name this name item products customer item dot merge function, on which basis. So I'm going to merge our data on product ID basis. Okay. Now let me run this cell. Now let's try to check the shape of our data. So now total we are getting the 36 shape, because here you can see we have a total 28, and after merging we are getting the total 36 columns of our data. Now I'm going to check the unique ID of this seller, whatever the seller that we have. So I'm going to check. Okay, so because in a Flipkart have a different seller in a different locations. Okay, but the same seller, let's say I am a seller. Okay, so I'm selling different product, shirt, t-shirt, jeans, men's as well as women's, both. But the seller ID, whatever the seller that ID that we have, this is the same seller ID that I have. Like I have a seller ID 1. Okay, so using this seller ID 1, I can sell different types of product, whatever the product that I have, like jeans, t-shirt, like women's t-shirt and jeans, men's t-shirt and jeans. Okay, but the seller ID is a unique ID that I have, the one seller ID that I have. Again, for the another customer, another seller have a different unique ID. Okay, but again they are selling a different product. So for this we can find out the unique ID of the particular seller. So here total seller that we have 3090. They are selling a different product, shirt, t-shirt, jeans, different things. Okay, I hope till here we have clear everyone. Let me know if anyone have any doubt till here. Yes, no? I'm waiting for your response, guys. And yes, guys, if you like this video, please click on the subscribe button and like this video. Thumbs up. Clear, everyone? Okay, fine. Many of you have written the clear. Fine. So now let's proceed. Next one. Now I'm going to read the head of the seller data, whatever the seller data that we have. Where is the seller data that we have? Review payment, or at least geolocation. Okay, so here we have a seller data. Okay, fine. So now I'm going to read the seller data, whatever the seller data that we have. So under the seller data, we have a seller ID, seller Jeep, seller city, and seller state. This is important to know in which state our seller is available, in which city our seller is available. Let's say our customer will get some of the defected item, because sometimes we are getting some of the defected item whenever we are ordering from the like Flipkart, Amazon, and Myntra. So as a client, our client got to know if they have these types of data: seller ID, seller zip code, seller city, and seller state. Let's say I'm staying in the Bangalore, nearby Whitefield. Okay, so if I buy some of the product as a seller, I'm talking about as a seller. Okay, I have a shop in like a Whitefield. Okay, and I'm selling the different product. Okay, sometimes I sell some of the defected product, and sometimes I send some of the defected product to our customer. Then definitely our main customer, like main client, will got to know, okay, this product is sold by this particular seller. If they have a seller ID, like this ID, if the client have the seller ID, then definitely they got to know, okay, this product is sold by this particular seller. If they have a seller ID, then they can find out, okay, why they have sent the defected item to our customer. Okay, fine. Now again, I'm going to read this one, geolocation. Under this geolocation, this is the row that we have, and this is the column that we have. Seller ID, this is the row that we have, 3095, and 4 rows that we have. Okay, Now I'm going to check geolocation. Let me check first of all the shape of our data. Now, like head, top 5 data, geolocation head. As you can see, we have a geolocation card. I'm not getting the product ID column after merging the 5 files. How did you get? Please explain. Okay. Product ID. Can you please mention the dataset name? Product ID where? Here. Please mention the file name, Richa, so that I can explain you again. Because here you can see, whenever I'm using the product ID, whenever I'm going to merge our data on the basis of product ID, I have taken here customer item, whatever the customer item that we have here, customer item I've created here. Okay. Based on this, I have merged with the product data. Let me show you the product head part. And yes, guys, parallelly try to do the practice. Okay, now let me, okay, I have written a wrong code here. That's why I'm getting the error. See, okay, no, I'm going to read this data, right? So for this, I'm using head. Now here you can see somewhere, yeah, this is the product ID that we have. Yeah, customer ID. So let me show you the customer ID here as well. So this is the product item that we have under the customer item. As you can see here, customer item, the data that we have under this one, product ID we are getting. And we are merging with products. Here you can see customer ID items, we are merging with the product on the basis of product ID, whatever the product ID that we have here and here. Okay, so I hope now it's clear, Richa. Please confirm yes or no so that we can proceed next. Based on the customer items data and based on the products item data, we have a one unique columns product ID. And based on this ID, we are going to merge our data. Yeah, right now we are playing with the only merging function in Pandas. Going forward, we can implement the different functions as well, guys. Okay, so don't worry for this one. Okay, fine. So now, as you can see the geolocation. In a customer ID, how you got? Okay, so let me tell you. Here somewhere you have a product ID. Let me rerun this order item. So under the order item that we have the product ID columns. Here you can see I have read this one order items data. Under the order items data that we have product ID columns. And after getting the product ID columns, I have merged first one, this one, review order payment, right? Review order payments customer. And then we have merged with the order items. Okay. Where we are storing this data on customer items and the same customer items. Here you can see the customer item, we have a product ID and the same customer item I'm going to merge with the products here. This one. So I hope now it's clear. Please confirm, Richa, yes or no. And yes, everyone, let me know if anyone have any doubt till here so that we can proceed next. Let's first of all segregate our data. And after segregation on data, then we can start working on the data pre-processing, exploratory data analysis, visualization, and feature engineering. Okay, this 4 part. Okay, later I will explain you. Don't worry. Let's focus on first here. Okay, fine. Great, Richa. So now, here you can see geolocation. Geolocation. So under this geolocation, we have a 5 columns: zip code, geolocation, date, longitude, latitude, geocity, geolocation city, and geostate, location state. Okay. Now I'm going to check first of all the unique pin code, unique zip code of those particular state, because one state we have a different pin code, right? So I'm going to find out in which particular state, like let's say we have a SP, this is the SP state that we have, or let's take one example, a Bangalore state. Okay, so I want to find out as a data analyst or as a data scientist, I want to find out, okay, how many seller that we have in this particular location, in this particular estate, in a Bangalore state. So how we can got to know? First, we can find out how many total zip code that we have. Or second method, first we can find out, okay, how many state that we have. Let's say we have a total 20 state. Let's say total we have a 20 state. Okay. And now in this 20 state, I want to find out how many seller that we have. So how we can got to know? We can got to know with the city and zip code. Because it's possible in the same location, we got sometimes 2 seller, 3 seller, 5 seller. But how we can overcome this issue? To get the seller unique ID, as I already shown you here, seller, where is the seller data that we have? Somewhere I have written here, seller. So under the seller data, yeah. So under the seller data that we have seller ID. So we can overcome those issue using a seller ID. Because sometimes it's possible in the same location, in the same city, in the same zip code, multiple sellers are available. So how we can find out, okay, this data is available to this particular seller. So here we have a solution, seller ID. Based on the seller ID, we can find out, okay, this product is available and this product our customer will get from this particular seller using the seller ID. Okay. So now here I'm checking the particular zip or particular pin code, okay, using the unique function. Now, as you can see here, we have this data, item products. So now I'm going to merge our item product data with the seller using on seller ID, because we have a seller ID common in our both the data, on item product data as well as in our seller data. So I'm going to merge this data based on item product seller data. Okay. Now I'm going to check the columns. So not column, let's first of all try to check the shape of the data. So as you can see, total, okay, seller is not defined. So let me rerun our cell, whatever the cell I have not run till here. I have now it worked. Yeah. So now as you can see, total we have a 39 columns and 1,17,329 rows that we have. But yeah, definitely some of the rows are unnecessary. So how we can find out the some of the rows are like how we got to know which columns is important for our project and which column is not important for our projects? Can anyone tell me how we can got to know and how we can do the analysis so that we can find out the important columns only? Anyone? Any idea? Yes? No? See, yeah, definitely. Like in a live class, I'm sometimes asking questions on YouTube as well as whenever I'm taking a classes. So I'm asking questions. So be prepared for this one as well. Okay, using a PCA. Okay, we can do. Any other one? Other member? Richa, Harish, Shima, Rahul, Sumit. Bishwajit, can anyone tell me how we can find out the important columns? Which column is important? Because we have a total 39 column. Okay. So we cannot use all the columns. Definitely we can remove some of the columns because there are lots of steps are coming in future. Whenever we can do the data analysis, data visualization, exploratory data analysis, pre-processing and feature engineering. Whenever we can do these are types of steps, definitely we can overcome. Okay. Correlation, p-value of features. Okay, that's great. Going forward, we can perform all those functions. Okay, fine. Later I will explain you. Right now you can write. Okay, Harish, VIF. No, I cannot say like these types of function, but yeah, later I will explain you. Right now you can think based on NaN value. Yeah, based on NaN value, like let's say if you have a loss of NaN value, then sometime we can drop those NaN value. If we have a like less like NaN value, then we can try to fill out using a different functions. Okay. So now let's proceed. Next one, we have these types of data: review ID, order ID, reviewer code. So see, we have a different things to got to know. Okay, which columns are important for our project, but always try to think in this way, understand the problem statement, and then you can find out the analysis. Okay, review is important for our classification problem or regression problem or clustering problem. Yes or no? Just think the assumption first. Order ID is important for our regression, classification, or prediction or clustering. Yes or no? And then you can first try to think in this way, write an assumption, and based on those assumptions, you can work on the projects. Okay. Now, these are the total. Sorry. Yeah. These are the total data that we have. 1,70,329 rows and 39 columns that we have in our data. Fine. Now, I'm going to use a group by function here. So can anyone tell me what is group by function? Yes or no? Anyone? Okay, let me explain you. Group by function is used to split the data into a different group based on some of the assumptions, based on some of the criteria, whatever the criteria we want to do. So based on those criteria, group by function is split our data in a different groups. Okay. Now, as you can see, geolocation, I'm going to using a group by function here on which column? So I'm going to use on geolocation zip code columns using the mean function. Group by based on the common value or columns. Yeah, so group by function we are used to split our data in a different group based on some of the criteria, whatever the criteria we want to do. So based on those criteria, we are going to split our data in a different group. Okay, now let me rerun this cell. So here I'm going to do the group by function on which data? On our geolocation zip code data, geolocation zip code columns on mean function. This is the criteria that we have. Okay, so these are the data we are getting: geolocation, latitude and longitude. Okay, now I'm going to do the final merging, final data. So as you can see, I'm going to merge this data here, this one, whatever the data I have merged. Item product seller, as you can see here, item product seller somewhere here is available. No, it's a customer payment data that we have. Yes, product seller, item product seller. This is the data that we have. Okay, and I'm going to merge on which data? Geolocation this data, this one. On which basis? On customer pin code basis, customer zip code basis. Okay, and in the right side, I want to add our this data, geolocation. So let me rerun this cell, and then I will show you the Okay, so recipe blocker item product seller is not working. So let me check it out. The item product seller. Where is the item product seller? This one. Okay, I have written the wrong file name. So let me remove and then let me rerun this cell again. Okay, now it's working. Let's rerun our data. So as you can see, our data is merged in the right side. Geolocation, geo zip code, latitude and longitude. Because here we have used right now right on side. Okay. Previously we have used only the on function. On which basis? On product ID basis. But as you can see here, I have added left corner. I'm going to add the customer zip data, whatever the data that we have here, customer. And in the right side, I'm going to add a geolocation data, whatever the geolocation zip code, geolatitude, geolocation latitude, and geolocation longitude data that we have. After that, let me check the shape of the data. So after adding, after merging, we have a total data 1,70,013 columns that we have, and 42 columns that we have, and 1,17,013 rows that we have in our data. Okay, so I hope till here clear everyone. Let me know if anyone have any issue or any doubt. Anyone? Please confirm in the chat. Okay, fine. So now I'm going to dump our data in one single CSV, because previously we have a lots of data, right? Now I'm going to dump our data in one CSV. So for this, what I can write? I can define final. Okay, final D. This is the final data that we have. Final data equal to PD dot, not PD dot to CSV. Okay, and after that I'm not a PD. I'm not going to read our data. I'm going to dump our data. So what I can do, I can write final data dot to CSV, because I'm going to dump our data. I am going to store our data in one single file. Okay, so for this we can use to function, to underscore CSV, and after that I can write a file name. So I'm going to write a final data, and where I want to store. So let me copy the same path. I'm going to add here. So not this one. So let me remove this data from here, and then let me run this cell. Okay, final data is not defined. Okay, this is the final DF that we have. So this one, let's run. It will take some time. Okay, string object is not callable. Why I'm getting this error? Delete string. No, this is not a solution. Okay, two function I have written here. That's why I'm getting error. Let me remove this one. Let's rerun this cell again. I hope now it will work. Yeah, it's working because I'm getting the green signal here. Okay, now it's working. So as you can see, we will get somewhere here data. So no issue. Let's run this cell. So DF, because here we are, yeah, final data we are getting here, guys. Right? Final data we are getting here. Based on the NaN value, okay, group based, common, fine, clear, got it. CSV is missing. Okay. Yeah, CSV is missing. Sorry. So let me write down here again, and let me edit this file, because again, or let's delete this one first. And now I'm going to write final data.csv. Let's run this cell again. I hope it will work. Yeah, now I'm getting the green signal here. So it's working. And yes, thank you, Sabrinath. Okay, now let's read our data. So for this df dot pd dot read csv, and what is our data name that we have? This one. So let me copy this path again and run our data df dot read. No, it's in the same file I'm using, Ganesh. Okay, now here you can see our data is successfully running. Okay, this is the final data that we have. So let me check the shape of the data. df dot shape. Now, as you can see in a final data, after merging all the data, we are getting this one, this data, 1,17,013 rows and 42 columns. Same data we are getting because we have here we are dumping our data. Okay. Now, what we can do in the next step, let's first try to check the null value. How many null value we are getting? So for this, we can use df dot is null, and let me run this cell. Okay, so we are getting the true and false. Okay, so let's use the sum function here so that we will get each and everything in one single row. So now these are the null value that we have. As you can see here, the total data that we have, the total rows that we have 1,17,000, and here we are getting the 1,03,000 missing value. 67,000 missing value. So how to handle these types of data, guys? How to handle these types of data? Anyone? How to handle these types of data? Because we are getting lots of data, lots of null values in our data set. How to handle this data? Okay, so yeah, guys, just everyone write it down. How to like handle? Shall we drop this data or shall we try some other way? Yes, no? Yeah, because at the end, like whenever we are getting the lots of data null value, as you can see the review comment title. These are the title that we have. Filna function. Okay, why we can use a filna function, Ganesh? Because here we are getting 90% null value. So we have an option to drop these columns. Whenever we are getting the lots of null value, out of 100, 90 we have a null value, then definitely we can drop the null value, and then else we can find out some other function, other way. Okay, again we have a review comment message, so definitely we cannot drop this message. Yeah, it's a 50-50, but we cannot drop this data because it's important for us. Comment so that we got to know, okay, this is the positive review that we have, and these are the negative review that we have. Okay, so Biswajit have written review comment title is 88%. That's great. You have find out. Comment is a 57%. So anyhow, if we have a 50-50 like missing value, then definitely we will try to handle first of all those data. Okay. And as we have a 87% of null value, then definitely we can try to drop those data, because review title, this is the unnecessary column that we have. So definitely we can drop it. So we can get the review title from the review comment message. Okay, so anyhow we can handle this data. So if we are getting the 80, like 80 or 20 or 90 or 10 null value, then definitely we will try to drop those data if those data is unnecessary in our data set, if those columns are unnecessary. Okay, and these are the null value that we have. So we will try to handle out this data because we have only few a few rows. Okay. So we will try to handle it. These types of null value. Okay. Now let's try to check first of all the columns of our data. Df dot. So as you can see, we have a different data that we have, like different column, review ID, order ID. So first let's try to check it out the category. How many category that we have, how many product category that we have. Okay. So for this, let me write df underscore product category. So I can write product. We are getting somewhere product category name. Yes. Let me rerun this cell. Now, as you can see, we have a different product category name. These are the product category that we have, total 1,17,000 total product category data that we have. Now let's try to check the order status unique value. So for this, we can write df order status. This column, I want to check the unique value, unique data of this order status. Let me rerun this cell. Now here you can see delivery, delivered, shipped, cancelled, processing, invoiced, unavailable, and approved. We have two things here. Focus on, guys. Cancel and unavailable. Cancel sometime from the customer side, sometime from the dealer side, if those products are not available. Seller side. Unavailable, it means customers are not available whenever our delivery boys are going to provide those products. Then those time, if the customers are not available, then this is the columns create unavailable customer. Okay, everyone. I hope we have clear till here. Now let's try to check the payment type. How many payment type that we have? So payment, where is the payment data that we have? Seller, product. Okay, let me find out on this way. Shift and tab. Okay, and after that, payment type. Now let's try to check the unique data. Credit card, people are using debit card, voucher, or Volito. I thought this is the like cash on delivery. I don't know about. Let's check the meaning of this sale. I don't know about this one. Payment method. I want to know the meaning. Okay, it's something method. I don't know what is this, because we are working on some of the like international data. Okay, so these are the four methods: credit card, debit card, voucher, and Bulleto method. The people and our like client have. Okay, based on this data, whatever the data that we are getting, the product category name, status, the different status that we have, right? And different unique ID that we have here. So based on this one, we can do the next analysis. Whatever the analysis we are going to do, based on this one, we can do the analysis. Now, let's try to check the number of data in our product ID. Product ID value count. Let me rerun this cell. Now, as you can see, this product ID have this type, this number of value, total 531. This is the product ID. It means, let's say we have a t-shirt. And let me tell you the one more example here. T-shirt. T-shirt. And the same t-shirt have purchased by the multiple customer. How many customers? 531. Again, the next that we have the another product like shirt, and again it purchased by the 516 customer. So if your clients, if your team member ask you, or if your clients ask you, okay, tell me the growth of the particular product, or higher selling of the particular product, then definitely you can say, okay, this is the product that we have, okay, and this product is a higher selling that we have in this particular location, and this is the demanding product that we have nowadays in our platform. This t-shirt, this shirt, you can say, because this t-shirt have purchased by the 531 people, 531 customer. Okay, again the next shirt have purchased by the 516 customers. So you can say, okay, these are the customer that we have, these are the product people, these are the product our customers are liking more nowadays. And based on this, you can provide a recommendation, you can provide some of the offer, so that the same product purchased by some more members. Okay, so these are the analysis you can do, and then you can say your client, then you can say your customer, okay, these are the analysis I'm getting. Based on this analysis, you can work on this positive part and negative part, so that you can increase your revenue more. Because at the end, whenever the e-commerce company come to the any data scientist, what they want to increase the revenue. Okay, at the end they work on the revenue part. Okay, so at the end you can do the analysis, and then you can say you can work on this part, so that you can improve your revenue. Okay, so I hope till here we all are clear, everyone. Let me know if anyone have any issue in the chat box, guys. If anyone have any issue, please let me know in the comment box. Everyone, no doubt, clear to everyone. Please confirm in the chat, so that we can proceed next. Okay, till now, no doubt, clear to everyone. Okay, that's great, guys. Now, let me tell you the next step. Or now we got to know about our data, right? So let's create a hypothesis questions based on this, whatever the data that we have. Because I already told you, after understanding the data, then we can create a hypothesis questions. Okay, so now the first questions on sale, prediction. Let's say sometime whenever the people receive the product, sometime our customers are not writing the review. But why? Are they happy or not? This is the first question that we have. Sometime our customer did not write a review. But why? Are they happy or not? This is the first question that we have. Second question, delivery performance. Second question that we have on delivery performance. People sometimes deliver the product on time, sometimes not. And if the customers are not receive the product on time, then some of the time, like you can say 10 and 20% of the time, they cancel those products. Let's say I want some product tomorrow and I ordered today, and it's written estimated delivery by tomorrow 10 a.m. I want this product till 1 p.m. and if I did not receive those products till 1 p.m., then definitely I can write some of the bad review, some of the bad comments on those particular product. Okay, so here delivery part is also important. So you can say sometime if the customers did not receive the particular product, then sometimes they write a bad review or bad comments. Okay, everyone. Third, quality of the particular product. Quality of the particular product. So sometimes we are getting the good product whenever we are ordering from like a Flipkart, Myntra, Amazon. Sometimes we are not getting the same product, whatever we have ordered. So definitely we can write a bad review. Okay. So these are the assumptions you can think why we are getting the bad review, why we are like our customers are not writing the review. Based on these assumptions, you can do the analysis. Right, everyone? Sales prediction, delivery performance, quality of the product. These are the main functions we have. They are the main point that we have whenever we are working on the e-commerce part. Okay, so let me add you as a text so that I will provide you this as a resources. Yes, guys, it will be available. This notebook is available after this video in this resources section. Okay. And from the next class onwards, each and everything will be like hands-on coding or like live class coding. Okay, fine. So these are the main point that we have. Now, what we can do the next? Data visualization, data analysis. Before attending the next class, guys, try to clear only one thing. Main difference between the data visualization and data analysis. Because 99% people say data visualization and data analysis both are the same thing. But no, it's not correct. Both are the totally different thing. Visualization is a different thing. Analysis is a different thing. Okay, so make sure before attending the next class, try to clear these only two topics, analysis part and visualization part. Okay, now feature engineering. Fourth, yeah, it will be a part. Data pre-processing is a part of feature engineering, that, but I'm writing here pre-processing. And now fifth point that we have the model building. Okay, so this is the agenda that we have for the next class. So I hope till now we have cleared the data, how we are merging, why we are merging our data in a different format. And after merging our data, we are getting the final data. From the final data, we got to know the unique ID of the status, columns, payments, type, product ID, and all those things. Right? So in the next class, I'm going to explain these things. And after that, we can start working on the database part, logging part, and then final creating a application. Okay, as many of you have suggested to use Cassandra and MongoDB, so I will try to use Cassandra and MongoDB, guys, in these projects. Okay, till now, any questions? I hope I cleared each and everything. See, guys, right now I'm going very slow, but from the next class, we will finish all those topics, whatever I have mentioned here, in a one class. After that, I can take one more class, one class for logging, one class for database, because I need to explain each and everything in a detail. Okay, so that whenever you can start, after completing this project, you can start any topics, whatever you want from anywhere. Okay, that's why in initial phase, I will take some of the time so that you can understand each and everything. Going forward, we can start speeding up. I have only one doubt, sir, about the null values. No issue. Just wait till next class. We'll show you different function. Even I will explain you all those function, whatever the function that we have to handle the null value. I will explain you each and everything. Even we have a lots of categorical data in our data set. So I will explain you those parts as well. How to handle a different categorical data in a different manner. Okay, so we'll explain you all those things. Don't worry. Okay, guys, so that's all about the today's session. Okay, let's see you in the next class on Thursday. Today we have a Tuesday, right? So next class we have on Thursday on same time. Most probably same time, 7 or 8 p.m. 7 p.m. is fine, everyone. Shall I take on 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.? Okay, fine. Okay, fine, guys. So that's about the today's session. Let's see you in the tomorrow. Not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay, day after tomorrow we will meet here. Yes, this notebook is available after this class. It will be uploaded within a 10 minutes under the description section, Ganesh. It will be available. Don't worry. No issue. 8 p.m. Again, day after tomorrow we will meet here. And going forward, I'm planning different things here to upload our recordings as well as to take a live classes, guys. Okay, so I hope you like this session, guys. So please subscribe my channel, share with your friends, share with the WhatsApp group, whatever WhatsApp group you are added a data science, so that other members will get a benefit. Okay, and yeah, please like this video, everyone. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Let's see you in the next class. Bye, everyone.